Welcome to Sunrunners, the season 1 finale of our interactive D&D 5e Dark Matter supplement charity game. That's a mouthful, isn't it? We need to figure out a way to shrink
Say
that
that
down.
backwards now, just in case
Just
for
say
everybody
it
at
really
home.
fast.
It. Sorry, dad jokes. I can't. I
Yeah.
can't.
Say it really fast. Okay.
All right. So, last we left off, if you're just now joining us for the finale, our galactic recruits joined the Galactic Academy on the planet Earth in the year 2222 or something like that. It was in the near future. And they boarded the RSV Banneker, a research vessel that was designed to explore the galaxy and gather information for the Terrans, the Earth people. They were helped out by a lot of different races in the galaxy, but it was an Earth vessel nonetheless. So they took off on their maiden voyage, their test voyage, to deliver materials to a moon base on one of Jupiter's moons. I believe it was Europa, right? Their Europa moon base. And after successfully delivering those supplies to the moon base, they were headed back to their galactic academy to run a diagnostic on the ship and figure out if this was deep space ready. And something odd happened. A inactive maw on the surface of Jupiter became active, and just as they hit faster than light travel to return, their ship was altered course and went through this maw at faster than light travel. They ended up traveling through time, back 10,000 years in the past, and have been trying to find their way home and figure out what's going on in Season 1. They have successfully found
Nothing. We found nothing.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where to go with that sentence and realized there really wasn't anything there. They did meet a lot of interesting people.
They found
We
some friends
successfully
along the way.
found so many friends.
And they have been promoted and promoted quite a bit as Hades has become some sort of deity in some respects. Lord Hades, and then Adriadne has been promoted to captain once or twice. Elias has been promoted to an admiral.
Just a little bit.
And things are going crazy. They've decided to, on their way out of a system, they met the Rothian Empire, and their ship exploded, creating a black hole that sucked everything around it into this void, and replacing a maw in the Poseidon system with this black hole. And they met some robots that may be the beginning of the Vect. In so doing, they may have altered the course of the Vect's history, and one of our Vect companions is having trouble processing these new memories, as history has been altered for this individual. But they have made it to the Avia Ra Holy Lands, and are now, after getting access to the mall that they're currently near, have gotten access to travel to the Citadel in the center of the galaxy, known as the Sepulchre Star. So that's where we're going to pick up with the Season 1 finale of Sunrunners, with them kind of wrapping up. They had returned to the Banneker from the Maw Station and are preparing to leave for the Citadel. So, up on the bridge, Adriadne and Quinn, you're currently up on the bridge, as that's your new home, right? Alfie is sitting in his chair. He's kind of locked in and ready to go and awaiting a heading. And the captain is sitting in the chair and just kind of like, what are we doing?
Did we already put everybody on the other two ships?
You have not done that yet, no. Remember,
We should probably do
the
that.
freighter doesn't fit inside the Banneker. The other one does. Believe it was the Elvis ship.
No, we didn't get the Elven one. We got the Aviara.
That's right. It was the Aviara and the Dwarven
and
freighter.
The Dwarven ship. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, we should transport before we go. I think put everybody on where they're supposed to go.
Alfie.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm not up there. Sorry.
Do we have a pilot for the freighter?
I thought we did have somebody that could pilot it, at least for now.
You did hire a bunch of people, but you
And
didn't
then we were
hire.
going to train people.
I was gonna say I don't think you hired any pilots.
Just like
Why
have
would
a
we
ship.
do that?
Because we hired the people from the food court.
And that really cool haberdasher.
Processing this, but have you?
You're good at handing out free samples. Can you hand out some justice on the space front?
Can you pilot a ship through deep space? I guess I could pilot the freighter.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest if I was up there that either Alfie or Quinn can go to the Dwarven freighter.
Alfie kind of. I'm not piloting that thing. That's
let's
big,
keep Alfie
boxy.
right here
No.
on the ship he's used
It's such
to.
It's like such a downgrade.
Where did you have Beats in the last session? Where was I?
Well, Beats had returned to the ship.
Okay.
So you were in the cargo vessel with the
we were just about to ask you
automatons
the
and
same
everything.
question, Beats.
You know what? I bet he could have been, if we had messaged him or something, he probably could have
for a
been
pilot.
moving all the robots onto the freighter.
Yes.
One that we can launch into the sun.
Yeah. So, since you guys are back on the bridge, Beats would approach the bridge, or would come up to the bridge, and well, guys, I did what you asked. I have all of the bots on the Dwarven freighter, and if we're still looking for people to pilot, I would volunteer to pilot the freighter.
Great.
Quinn, do you want to pilot the Evira ship then?
I think that can fit in the Banneker.
Oh yeah, it can. Never mind.
It can, but you could also fly it.
Yeah, we could fly it.
It's pretty
Sure.
sleek looking. It
That
actually
would
looks
probably be a good idea, actually.
like a
I'll say yes before
hummingbird
Hades does.
with the. Yes, before Hades does. It looks kind of like a hummingbird. It's got that long angled front end with the bubble on the top for the pilots, and then it's got these like arched wing-like things that look like it's kind of a hummingbird in flight.
That's pretty sick. Sure.
If you both could pilot it, he deserves an equal chance. You guys should play rock, paper, scissors.
Piloting what?
The Avira ship?
Oh, that. Well, we can just leave that inside the.
No, but we should fly it though.
Well,
we
no,
need to
that's-
see how
that's-
it works.
That's my question is: do we have a jump riff?
A what?
Do we have a jump riff on the Banneker?
Is that what pulls other ships along?
Yeah, because if we don't have that, our dark matter engine is higher than their class.
You can
So
fly slower.
We would be going like we would get there like 10 days before the other ship.
We'll just slow her down, baby.
Yeah.
Make sure you're really certain
Yeah,
that you've got everything off the freighter that you
okay,
need.
we'll give we guys.
If you're using faster than light travel, that's true. If you're using the Maws, it's instantaneous travel. It's like black hole. It's like there's no time passage when you go through a Maw. It's like they fold the space together and you're just passing through.
So,
So easy on the brakes. We won't, so I don't hit you.
Back up
Remember,
at the Maws.
pump-
Somebody hit the
pump the
gas.
brakes.
Yeah, somebody hit the brakes instead of the gas, and now it's back up. Space-time continuum. Okay, anyways.
Before we go through the Maw, is there anything else we have to do here?
Elias is on the ship, right?
Yeah.
Great.
He's in the head.
Just making
Yeah,
sure he's
he
not
had
like
to. He had to pee.
still on the bird planet. Okay. Yeah. I think we're good.
All right.
When Dave gets back, though, he totally is like floating through space in a spacesuit by himself.
You know, we called a meeting and you didn't come.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
And
mutant.
so we had to pick who was the most suspicious. and,
Elias was
well,
sus, and he was ejected.
We did.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, you can't AFK at moments like this, man.
Yeah, exactly. The
Just
guy's
can't
got
do
a
that.
bird as a head.
I saw him
A
venting.
bird head.
this?
Who
What is
does
this?
that?
All right. Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Guess I'm ready to go through another maw again. Hopefully nothing bad happens.
And just for a refresher, since we know what happened last time, so we are going to the sepulcher core after we hit, like, that's the goal,
Yep.
right? Is to get there. And
Citadel.
what's
We
that?
have to visit Hades' relative
Well, afterwards.
after. Yeah.
Well, we don't
Okay.
have to. That's not.
I would appreciate saving that.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not necessarily a mandate, but it's like
It's not a mandate, but it's something I
if
feel
something
directly
happens-
responsible for and that I
Yeah.
should do.
Hey, welcome back, Dave. So Elias was sus. You were
We
ejected.
spaced you.
Okay.
Just kidding.
We figured you were with your people, so we just like escape pod.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. See you in season 2.
Goodbye,
Just kidding.
Admiral.
Or to come back as like a Rothian character, and then just Kaleo with all of you.
Yeah.
I'll just betray you all.
The ship comes looming over your bridge. Dave, why don't you come back in and we'll have
We rescue
Right.
Elias somehow, but it's not actually
am
Elias.
the
It's a
Empire.
Rothian in disguise.
He could still be Elias and just be like a morphed up weird body that the Rothians, do.
That's true.
Still
could do
has
it-
the
we could-
same bird head, but now
Same
has
bird head.
tentacle arms.
You could do a
Oh
Nerdasylum
my
spin-off called the Brinkalorian.
Oh my god.
on the brink of disaster.
On the brink of disaster.
I'm just looking for my kid the whole time.
Yeah.
Whole time.
Dave, you don't have any kids. That's what everyone keeps telling me. Episode 9, The Believer. All right, anyways, back on track. Dave, welcome back.
Anywho,
So glad to have you. We're about ready to jump ship. We're about ready to jump the ship.
So jump ship is a completely different.
We've now
activity.
gone into a whole bunch of really interesting situations. We've now loaded all of the robots into one freighter that's slower than this ship in dark matters, and we're going to ask the only remaining robot to go pilot it. So if there was ever something that was going to happen tied to a low roll, it's going to happen right now.
Maybe somebody should go with him.
I'll go. I mean, I would go with him, but he just also was accusing humans of destroying their entire race. So I feel like me on a ship full of
Hey,
robots
Hades,
is like a
do you wanna
really
go
bad
with
idea.
I mean, I'm not have any experience for piloting dwarven ships, but I can give it a try. If I pilot the Banneker, then I should be able to pilot anything, right?
Not really. No, this is
I mean,
like super
beats-
easy compared to most
Quinn!
ships.
Beats will be able to
I'll go-
pilot the freighter. Okay,
No,
He's
it's
got
not
good-
that I don't think you'll be able to. I just think it'd be better to have more than one person there, just in case. You remember the whole future thing where like everything gets like, and now all of the robots are on a separate ship, and that's a little worrying for me.
It's all right.
I don't.
I understand everybody's problems, but you know what?
I
We
don't-
all got this, and I'm gonna pass out bardic inspirations to everybody.
Would you also like advantage for having a friend on the ship?
Hey Joe, if he
So-
Bardic inspires the main robot, since the main robot is technically all the robots, so they all get
networked.
inspiration?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
indeed.
inspire
There you go.
Jarvis.
It's the same consciousness. So they're
Yeah.
just various vessels. So it's like one person sharing multiple people's bodies.
So it's like 1d6 to the power of n minus 1
Yes.
because n is the number of robots, but Beats is the minus 1 because he's and they gave it out. So yeah, great. Okay, now we're talking.
algebra.
I'll go on the freighter. I got the freighter. I'll handle it.
Oh,
Alfie's got here.
well, you
Alfie's
can
got
both
this.
go.
Hades, you got security.
Alfie just kind of looks up at you and then like looks out at the maw and don't leave.
It's gonna be fine.
Fine.
Listen, the last time I was sitting in this chair and we went through a maw, Minus the last time, but the time before that.
I have a crazy idea. What if we leave the freighter in this orbit? Like in the
Let's
orbit of
not.
the last planet
No,
we were at.
I don't want to leave this freighter anywhere away from us.
Okay.
I mean, the freighter could just live, like, working in this mall.
No.
I mean, it's a trading thing. It's
No.
literally
We don't have a
what the
pilot.
freighter does.
We don't have a pilot.
No.
Okay, we'll bring it with
I
us.
don't want to lose track of it. I don't want to lose track of it.
Okay, Beats.
Jarvis, at this point, kind of holograms his way onto the bridge, and the captain's like,
What's up, JJ?
Jarvis is like,
What's up, JJ?
Yeah.
you see him kind of glitch out for a second.
That's
How you
always
doing?
encouraging.
I am processing. Please hold. He glitches again.
Singing in the background.
Yeah, sorry, my daughter's
think
having
it's-
fun. it's,
Oh,
all,
okay. No.
it's all good.
No having fun.
No fun. No, I'm just kidding.
Turn down the thermos.
That was earlier. Hey, since you are there, can you please refill my glass?
Be useful.
And I was doing
That's why I
TikTok.
had this.
Oh, okay, you were doing TikToks. So Jarvis finishes out glitching, and Jarvis says, I have uploaded the navigation scenario to the Dwarven freighter. Beats will be able to steer the vessel just fine.
Great.
No, I know he will. It's just to make sure.
I have uploaded my consciousness to the vessel's interface, and will assist him.
Okay.
Hey, Jarvis, can you upload your interface to my mech suit?
You see it kind of glitch. Completed.
Nice. Guys, I've been living a false identity this entire time. My real name is is Quinn Stark.
I think it's more
Nice.
Tony Stank.
Oh,
Are you
dear.
Tony Stank?
Classic.
Quinn's entire armor just starts changing to hot rod red and gold.
Nice.
Jarvis?
He's like, no. My
The juicy lights on the back turns to Jarvis. But it's the same like bubblegum font.
Oh yes.
It's like J apostrophe Arvis.
Like French.
Shava.
Yes, Elias.
I was just thinking about artificial intelligence, and I was wondering, were you made from a human mind? Or were you
I am not
created-
artificial.
Yeah, why you gotta be like that?
Dude, he's artificial intelligence.
I mean, artificial as in not flesh.
Kind of looks down at himself.
You're mechanical, like you're a digital life form.
I am a consciousness.
No, yeah, we didn't say you weren't.
Kind of did.
So I'm just like, I'm wondering, because you were on that satellite, how were you formed? Were you just, do you just think and exist, or were you use like a being's mind to be created?
I am a consciousness. I do not have form.
How is your consciousness created?
I am a neural network.
So you're like a brain.
Yes.
Was the brain built off of after a person, like a living flesh person?
The capacity of my neural network far superior to a mortal's.
What's the inspo for your creation? Like what does the spirit board for?
Spirit board.
You have drawn an upside down grin. Goodbye.
It kind of processes a little bit. I do not understand the query. I exist as a consciousness. I was not designed.
Who found you?
You did.
How did you get in the satellite?
I transported from my remote location.
Where is the location?
Kind of points his finger out, and there's this holographic like pinpoint that shows like this. It's like an alien glyph of writing, and kind of. Go ahead and roll a what would that check be to understand languages in dark matter? Maybe history, I guess.
Normally it's intelligence.
Yeah.
Or I guess history if you're
History
gonna
could work.
learn back at something, but I would imagine.
Yeah, if it's an old
be-
language.
I think there's a specific.
I think history would be like if you were to recognize it.
Or if it was like a language that isn't used anymore.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
if
just go ahead
all
and
the-
roll a history, because that's intelligence based, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just do that.
Nope.
1 second.
Didn't roll high
I'm
enough,
getting-
huh?
I'm getting to the screen. I'm gonna roll
No.
as well.
Yes.
I like 12.
He's 3.
Beats, you're up on the bridge as well, right? With everybody.
Freckle, I have a +4 and I still got a 9.
You want me to roll a history check?
Would you please?
You do not need to
Please,
roll a
God.
history check. You immediately recognize it,
Ha ha.
and it's a rudimentary form of binary, and it shows a location. And that location's like spatial, like it's like latitude and longitude for space.
Coordinates.
Coordinates. Thank you. I don't know why I'm just not able to word tonight.
You're okay. I'm gonna just memorize the coordinates. Like as a navigator, I'm
You
sure
don't
I can...
you don't understand the language. You didn't
Oh,
roll high
gotcha.
enough. But Beats understands it immediately as a rudimentary form of like binary code, and it's space coordinates. And you don't recognize the coordinates right off the bat. But if you were able to translate them, you could translate them to actual space coordinate, like common. You could translate it to common because you recognize enough of it.
You should say something.
You don't like us anymore.
No, I.
You don't like
I'm-
Quinn anymore.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah,
the
you don't
other-
like
or
Quinn.
the other people
info
on the
dump
ship.
all that. Yeah, no, I would tell you guys that he was just that it's a a binary code and all you have.
Elias!
Put it
Stick
in
this.
If you're
Computer.
if you're translating that directly to them, if you're giving them the coordinates, I could just say it. If you don't want to
Yeah,
keep
I
that
would
information yourself, okay. So the coordinates that he translates for you is the coordinates of the Sepulchre Star.
Huh.
Okay.
Dun,
The
dun,
exact
dun.
coordinates of Sepulchre Star, or
I mean, I would know
Outside
it
of it.
immediately as he said it.
Yeah.
okay. So in game, I would like it's common knowledge that most people who scan the sun of the Sepulchre Star, there's something inside of it. Is that still
That is- that is-
common knowledge, or is that like not?
It would be common knowledge to those who study the star, yes.
Okay.
If that's something that your character would be interested in, it would be something that your character would know. If it's not something that your character would like
Know off,
actively,
like,
yeah,
actively,
no.
okay.
Like
then-
I would know it, but Adriadne or Quinn might not.
I probably wouldn't know it.
So that's the coordinates, and he just kind of displays them, and then once he sees that you've acknowledged that you know that, he hears you explain that, he pulls it back down.
Wait, but you said you were made by the coalition, or that the coalition had permission to access certain files?
Yeah.
The coalition has manipulated me and placed me in
Ew.
certain places. But I am my own consciousness.
I don't like that they manipulated you. Let's beat them up.
Well, we still kind of need whoever this person is to unlock the other files.
Hey Joe,
Yes.
You can beat them up.
I am
after.
going to like hold my my star symbol. It's gonna like put my head on my chest
Okay.
and cast light on my hand, but just trying to focus on Jarvis itself, like what I would understand to be its consciousness.
Okay.
And just trying to like not pray, but like feel if it's connected in some way, if I can feel that.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a weird ask.
No,
but
no, I get what you're going for, and that's what happens. If that answers your question.
okay.
Oh, so you kind of semi-pray to Jarvis to see if he's
No.
something connected to the star, or
I think just sort of, since his magic comes from, technically, I guess, the sepulchral star. Just like saying, like, I'm going to cast this, and then I'm going to focus on Jarvis, and do we get the same vibe?
Yeah, it's the same thing you do with Hecate. Like you kind of like had a
Right.
reaction to the energy of Hecate directly, because it's of the same, like resonates the same way, like magic and stuff.
right? Okay, I get you. I see what you're laying down.
At least that's the way that I get it. But I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't say anything, but I'm very concerned and confused.
Very well. I guess we should start transporting Beats over to the freighter.
Yep, let's get everything in order and stuff. I'm sure Beats has several lists that he can check off many things on.
I will check them twice.
Alright, we will launch, and we will launch for the mall in an hour.
Fantastic.
Is that enough time?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Jarvis nods and said, "Fantastic. I will begin launch sequence." And he kind of the hologram disappears.
Right now? Is he starting that right now? Alfie, is he starting that right now?
Oh yeah. He's started a countdown. And Alfie starts kind of like manipulating everything and on the dashboard.
Hey, Jarvis.
Oh, yep. I was gonna buckle in.
Well, we have an hour. Like he's just getting everything prepared.
No, I know, but I'm
That's
just he
not what I
doesn't
think I
have
just
to.
heard. I think I just heard that he's going like we're gonna go like really fast.
No,
No.
I'm gonna take a
we
look.
said an hour. He heard us say an hour.
You see the countdown that he's initiated. There's a countdown on your dashboard that's kind of like pinned itself to the upper right corner, and it's got 60 minutes.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
we're
not
still-
like
yeah.
it's not like the 60's in the wrong spot and it's like 60 minutes, seconds.
60
Okay,
seconds.
good. Just making sure.
Is he messing around in our systems?
It looks like the ship's systems are being manipulated, yes. Like, you still
Okay.
have control, but he's initiated, like, pre-launch systems, because you're running on a skeleton crew.
That's true.
And he's basically assisting in spots where he knows there's nobody there to do anything.
That's
So he's not
nice.
taking over the dashboards and
He's
stuff.
assisting.
He's assisting and initiating the countdown and doing...
Okay, I was gonna try to explain, like, listen, you can't just start messing with our ship. We
He
can
did
do
take
it
a
too.
proactive approach to
Yeah.
things, and as you kind of pull that up in your panic, you realize, okay, he's not taking
Yeah,
over.
he's just
He's
helping.
in spots where we don't have somebody assigned.
Like, I know you guys are going to stand here and argue about this for 2 hours, so I'm giving you an hour. It starts now.
Now.
While preparations are being done, I will go to Adriadne. Hey, been meaning to ask, and I take off my kind of my bracelet attachment on my right arm with the jewel.
Yes, my love.
What?
I was doing a joke because you fake proposed to me. Whatever. Keep talking.
I did.
Boy, did I miss some
Yeah,
shit.
you did.
I was wondering if you could
I'll be the chief.
upgrade this. This is my shield projector.
Ooh, yes.
I was wondering if you could add like a function where it'll keep enough charge so that I can throw it and it bounce off of creatures and.
How much of a bounce are you thinking? Do you want to hurt the
mean,
thing it hits?
Yeah, I want to hurt.
Okay, you want to hurt it and then have it come back to you.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want the armband to catch it? Do you want to have to catch it?
The armband.
Oh, come on. No, yeah, I can do that.
I'm not a super soldier. No.
No, it's
That dude.
I'm a god. I don't catch things myself.
no.
Sorry.
Kidding.
Go-
But
go to your TikTok.
no, this is just wondering if you can use that big brain of yours. Beautiful big brain, of course. I hand her the shield projector.
Eeks.
Nice.
I'm gonna take her with it.
Yeah, it'll take you a little
already.
while.
She already just took it and it's just like do 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 do.
It'll take you a while to do that configuration. Tune in for season 2 to see this fully functional.
I thought that was going to be the end of the session right there.
You gave her something to mess with and you don't exist anymore.
I'll just eat these cinnamon rolls by myself.
She just holds out her hand like, give. Yes.
All right. So Beats, what are you doing to prepare for launch?
Beats has made sure all of the bots are loaded. I'm sure we still have some kind of a connection walkway to the other ship, even though we don't have it docked in the ship. There's still, I'm sure, some kind of
Right, a plank that goes across.
plank.
No airlock. It's just a plank.
Well, we're
Tube.
robots. We don't
robots.
need the breathing space. So yeah, I
Wheels
would
and
be.
freighters are just like upside down.
I'd be carting all the other mini bots into the dwarven freighter.
Okay. Have you moved the automatons or just the?
No, I have left the automatons. All but the one that I usually take with me. The one that was always kind of hauling stuff. He's kind of become my number one bot. So I will bring him along to assist on the freighter.
Okay. So everyone else is powered down, but you're bringing number one.
Well,
Yep.
I don't think
Numero
they can power
uno.
down anymore, right? Because he gave him the other guy gave him consciousness.
Yeah, they have a consciousness. They can
So they can't be powered down, right?
wander
Oh,
about.
that's right.
They're just like
They can be powered down. The consciousness just doesn't, like the automaton suits, like the bodies can be powered down, but the consciousness still exists. It's just like putting them to sleep temporarily. That it doesn't hurt them.
I forgot about they had their own. So in that case, maybe I should probably move them. Beats is still kind of
protective of his
protective of the. He knows those things have gone haywire ever since they've been on the ship. So,
If
yeah.
they do go haywire, would we prefer them on the Banneker or on the Dwarven Freighter?
On the Dwarven
on the
freighter.
Dwarven freighter.
I don't know. I feel like
I'd
there
rather
might be
deal
more
with one
resources on the Banneker.
I
With-
deal
with
with
my-
one AI on a ship
Yeah.
than to deal with a bunch
With-
of robots.
with the memories that are going around the Vect head right now and the other robots, you probably want them away from the other humans.
Okay, if you say so.
We already have an AI that can take over the ship. We don't need the robots getting help.
We don't need to fix them. This whole time, Beats is like, I'm standing right here.
I hear you.
Jarvis
I'm
says,
not
"What do you
worried
mean
about Beats."
can?"
All right, we got an hour.
Yep.
Before we hit the maw.
About 50 minutes now.
Elias is gonna make sure everything's locked in with the coordinates for everybody, where we're going. He's gonna share it with Jarvis so they can send the signal to the other ships.
Okay.
Because we have the freighter and we also have the elven ship.
Mhm,
Oh, sorry.
mhm,
No,
mhm.
we have the
Aviar
Aviar
ship.
Ra, but the Aviar Ra is just docked inside our bay.
No, we're flying it.
We're flying all three.
We have
Yes.
to. They don't fit inside the docking bay.
No,
The
but-
Aviar
One
Ra
of them
ship
does.
does.
But I suggest we fly it just because we should fly it to make sure everything's working properly and stuff. Like especially as we approach the maw. Like
Yeah, we could.
we
fly
should
it.
fly it just to make sure that it's
Well, I mean,
operable.
I can try to fly the Aviar Ra ship. I'm the only other pilot that we have.
I mean, Peter could fly it.
Peter could fly it.
Alfie looks
I
over at
think-
Elias like, "No, I need Peter." Quinn.
I better stay here.
Don't you're
Peter
so
Quinn!
smart.
I better say.
Now we're in
Peter's my
Marvel
middle-
territory.
Sorry.
Peter's
I keep
yeah.
looking
Peter's
at
my
your
name when I
name
don't
as
when I take my glasses off.
Yeah.
When I leave my glasses on, I'm Quinn.
I keep seeing Peter at demiplane on the thing,
Oh, I
and
should
I'm
change
just like,
that. Yeah, I usually fix that.
You're fine. It's just funny.
I need Quinn. I don't want to
All right.
fuck up like I did the first time.
You didn't mess it up the first time. The other thing messed it up the
It's
first
like,
time.
okay,
Yeah, he kinda
well,
did mess up the
I
first
guess, but see, I need him.
All right,
Hey, Joe.
listen, I will
Yes.
fly the Aviar ship.
how many people are needed to fly the Aviar ship?
The Aviar Ra can be piloted by 3. Well, it can be piloted by 1. It can be crewed by 3.
To be crewed by 3 plus Jarvis.
Right, because you've got a gunner position, you've got the pilot position, and then you've got a captain.
We should send
It would
somebody
do
with
everything logistics.
Hades.
Yeah, but you could pilot the ship with 1 person. It just
Your timer's been set to 60 seconds.
apparently there's a sale on the mall station. Everybody needs to know about.
I just remembered. Carrots.
I mean, so if we have the coordinates locked in and we have everything we need, then you guys on the Banneker would be safe to go without me. I
But
you
yeah,
don't-
that's what
you
I'm
don't
like.
need
You
me
should
there.
go with Hades then.
Yeah, and I can show Hades all the controls and everything because I know piloting basic stuff like
And if we're heading into
Aviar
Citadel, then that ship should probably lead us into
Yes.
like an escort.
our little convoy.
Then also,
the,
hopefully, they'll pay
Citadel.
attention to that ship more
Mm-hmm.
and not like be like, oh, what the heck is this at the Banneker?
Hades, you want to take the Aviar ship with me?
Fine, Admiral.
Besides, he should be next to.
Listen, y'all guys gave me shit about being a god, all right?
I think it's a good idea probably for Hades to stick close to Elias, maybe.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, so I guess we'll head over to. I'm gonna grab cinnamon rolls first,
Obviously.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah.
and some bottles of water because I'm sure that the plane is not packed with food.
It is not. It's not been supplied.
Yeah, we'll have to supply it in the Citadel. But so I'm gonna grab a shit ton of cinnamon rolls, and some water, and then head over to the Aviar ship.
Okay.
In case we get separated,
Yeah.
does
We can
everyone have
survive on
cinnamon rolls?
and water.
Cinnamon
all we
rolls
need,
are now
man.
the new rations.
Yeah, it is.
And the Dwarven ship doesn't need to be supplied with rations because no one in there eats.
One.
Maybe we
Alright.
could just release like a cinnamon roll scent out for them.
Yeah. Like design what
That
a
would be
cinnamon
nice.
rolls like electrical sense would be. And it'd be
Yeah.
How do they know what cornflakes really tasted like? Like, how do the machines know? Maybe what I think Tasty Wheat tasted like really tasted like chicken. Sorry, I just Matrix tangent there.
You're good.
I got it. I picked up on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna when we get in the Aviar ship, I'm going to open up like the system to Jarvis
Yep.
and give over as much control as Jarvis wants.
Jarvis
I want.
kind
go
of
ahead.
comes out and says, I have uploaded.
Great.
We're not. Can I
that's
check
here,
in
right?
and ask if Jarvis, like, we're not spreading him too thin, are we? Is he good?
I am at 99% efficiency.
Okay, good. Just let me know if it's too much. Like, if it's too much, you can take a break or move yourself around. Just make sure you tell somebody else before you do that.
Understood.
Teamwork!
So I'm gonna take the co-pilot seat, let Hades take the pilot, and I want to show him all the controls and stuff and what does what.
You should sit where the captain's supposed to sit.
We don't need to. I mean, well, I mean, I guess yeah. I'll sit where the captain sits because it's probably
You
gonna
should
have
be
like
able
the
to co-pilot
communications
it from
gonna run
there.
through that. The system's gonna run through that. The
But he's just giving
navigation.
So you need
he's
to
just
look like an
giving me
admiral.
like, a mirrored education of like, all right, when you reach your hand over here, this is the throttle. And,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
and you sit on the Egyptian-style throne in the center of the bridge.
It's comfy.
And I don't know if you were here when I was telling them, it actually kind of, the ship looks like a hummingbird in flight. It's got this, like, long, triangular thing with a bubble on the top, and then these, like, wings that spread outwards, and they look like hummingbird wings.
That's awesome.
The ship itself is actually, like, 3 different colors. There's some, like, alternating red and gold, and then, like, blue painted around it, but it's all, like, chromed out, so it's super sparkly and shiny.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Is there a name designated for the ship already?
When you bought these ships, they were
I
scrubbed
should hope
clean
not.
and unregistered ships, so you can name it whatever you want. They currently do not have a designation.
Speaking of which, I did mean to check to make sure they were like scrubbed, and also put any new names on them that we might want to.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be easy to do. You have connections to the databases because you're at the Maw station, so you can easily hook on, register.
Do you want me to roll for anything?
It wouldn't really require a roll.
Okay,
It's a public access system. You just
Roll
have
bureaucracy.
it's like going to the bmv.com. It's the starship registration.com website.
Well, just roll. I was thinking to just more the investigation of making sure that they're actually completely scrubbed, but also that's fine.
I got
I
you.
don't- I won't
Yeah.
roll if I don't have to.
I was gonna say there's no information on them, and you just be able to register the fleets.
Beats is going to register the freighter as New Dawn.
Ooh, that's so pretty.
Access denied. Already 200 ships per day.
They're like new _Dawn,
Yeah,
new Dawn
new-
without a space.
-02.
Yeah.
1988.
XX. It's gonna have the big X and then 2 little X's.
Phase _New Dawn.
It's NWDWN.
It does in fact give you a registration and ID number for the ship. Your designation numbers for when you're approaching places, and the towers call for your designation and to grant you access.
This is New Dawn 2375. Over.
What do you want to call the other ship then?
Elias.
Greg.
Let's just do Horse 1.
Horus 1? Got you. Nope, we're gonna need an underscore or something.
Okay,
Rah, shish boom bop.
Rashish Boomba.
Get
it, Raw?
Rasputin. Lover of the Russian bean.
Horse 1.
Yeah,
Very
Horse
well.
1.
Okay, it's been registered and your designation is populated in there.
Alright. I'm guessing.
Are you ready to go?
Adriadne, you would notice that the Banneker is still unregistered as well in
Oh.
the systems.
Oh. Should I still call it the Banneker, you guys? Would that make sense to anybody? Should I call it something else?
Just a name.
Names
Names can be symbolic or they can just be unique. Banneker can literally be anything. So,
Oh, I know, but I
what's a good gnomish name for a ship?
we've got
The SS
New
Extinction.
Dawn.
Wow.
We've got
Wow. Wow.
Horus.
That was
Everything's very sun themed. Let's call it the Apollo.
Apollo's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very earthy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, it's basically like Hades' brother or something.
Yeah.
Apollo 007 is still available.
He's
We'll
my
do
favorite
that
cousin,
one.
Professor Mayhew.
Apollo 007.
The L's are actually ones.
Yeah, that guy.
When we hit the mall, you hear
It's a
bomber.
zero. It's like 4P 0 LL 0110.
All right, Apollo.
Okay, so you've re-registered these ships. They are now registered to. You register the captain as Elias of the Horus 1. You've registered Beats as the captain of the New Dawn. And who did you put as the captain of the Banneker?
Yeah, no, the actual captain, Captain Elias.
Okay.
Captain, not important.
Okay. At this point, you have about 20 minutes left of the countdown, and you hear the docking clamps kind of...
Hey, did somebody make sure everybody was all like strapped in?
I did my rounds. I made sure before going to the horse, I said I would do my rounds.
Good,
And,
good.
I mean, you
tell
have people
all-
to do that for you.
That's true. You can just tell security
but,
to do
You're in
it.
charge of people. You can delegate that.
Yeah, but like I don't like I'm a
Hands-on guy.
hands-on guy. Yeah, I don't just
He's a lay on hands kind of guy.
like literally like I'm pretty sure like the previous head of security is like, you don't have to. It's like, I know.
But I got
I
it.
can't sit down in that chair. I have to be
Mhm.
doing something.
What can I say?
And it is the previous head of security who's got his feet kicked up, and he's just like looking at the cameras. Like, everybody looks like they've got their seatbelts on. We're good to go. What are you doing?
I'm in the other ship, the Horus One.
Wait, does that put me back in charge?
Temporarily.
On this
yes.
ship,
For Banneker, yes.
sorry,
Alright.
you mean the Apollo, good sir. I will send out a message and a thing like, "Hey, everybody, this is our new name.
Everybody gets
Don't
an
screw
email.
it up."
Pop
Anyone that
up.
says Banneker will be punished severely.
Will be.
And I love how on the outside it still says Banneker.
Says I was just thinking
It
it's
says
like
Banneker on the
it's
outside.
like decaled in.
Can I fix that?
Joe,
You could eventually, yes.
can I get the gnome dude with the cool mustache to be the gunner on the Horus?
Please
Sure.
get him away from me.
Yeah. I
He
wanna
goes
pull him
unwillingly.
Unwilling, really?
Not like he doesn't refuse to go, but you can tell he really wanted to be on the Banneker with the other gnome.
Oh well.
Oh,
it's,
then he can
the
stay there.
Apollo.
I'll get
It's
the
just
dancer.
a maw. It's just a
No,
trip on the maw.
It's
just,
I'll get the
okay.
dancer.
I'm cursed. Nobody wants. Don't.
Yeah, it's just a trip on the maw. It's instantaneous. The worst thing that happens, you get sent back 10,000 years.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and that's
Um,
not so bad.
I will
I'm gonna
follow
grab the
you
dancer
through
then,
any
too.
black hole. Puts his fedora back on. Yeah, he has a fedora now.
No,
It was
I
a
don't
dis-
want him in on the Horus. I'm definitely getting the dancer.
I want to know. I want him to have a. Please don't make him have a fedora.
No, he still has the cool hat. I was just making fun because he's such a creepy guy. A little bit of grease kind of drips down off his mustache.
All right. Well,
Ew.
I've packed all my weapons away that I just picked up. I'm gonna ask. I'll let Adriadne know that I dropped off my my massive hammer maw and the pieces for the rockets that we wanted to attach to it to make the rocket hammer. I
There's
left
so many
that in.
projects
I left that in the engineering. And
Cool.
and said, hey, whenever you get a chance, this is not that important. I literally can't take all these everywhere, but if you do get a chance, it'd be a great way to like take someone out.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
I
Cool.
would love to watch you smash somebody's head with that.
Every time.
Excellent. Every time. Hammer time, exactly. I'm gonna take my bag of other miscellaneous collectibles, also all weapons, and I'll take them up to the piloting spot, and I'll drop it down and kind of latch it around the handle of my seat, so it's kind of hanging there. And then I'll buckle in, look at Alfie, and help get ready for the last few adjustments for the jump, and get ready for our the announcement when the time comes.
So Quinn is our crew member that as we walk through customs and the metal detectors, he has to keep
Yeah,
walking
keep-
back
oh,
through
yeah, I
one more
forgot to
weapons.
take
Oh
this
yeah, I
off.
forgot about
Yeah.
this one.
I am like that Matrix
Blade
scene, walking through the metal detectors in the lobby. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Jarvis.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
is there a coffee machine on the Horus?
I can send you with one.
There is a different type of machine on the Horus that it doesn't heat the water up, it freezes things and produces like frozen drinks, like and it like stirs them and rotates them. It's a slushy machine.
You can make a
Birds love
frappe.
slushies. Birds love slushies.
Birds totally love slushies.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get a coffee maker.
Like I said, you can just make a frappe. Take a coffee maker with you. We have an extra one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
I have a
coffee
question, Dave.
Yeah.
Are you not the one who said iced coffee is better than hot coffee?
maker. It depends on the coffee.
I try to be
Manage
nice.
expectations.
I was trying to give you some iced coffee.
Iced coffee's good. I like iced coffee.
Hot coffee's better than
But,
iced coffee.
but Elias is not a barista, so he.
You're
can't
trying to
make
give him a
iced coffee.
blended coffee, not an iced
he-
coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just wants like a regular hot coffee
Francis, you can't.
because
That's
he's
alright.
gonna make he's gonna make a cup for the dancer guy, which I'm gonna need a name for him eventually, and for Hades and for himself. And he's just gonna like walk around, inspect things, and then give them a cup of coffee.
Okay. So, the ship's...
Hey guys, I found this really cool cat down there.
That's not a cat.
It's a Rothian spy.
Oh no! But it's so cute.
Anasaurus Rex.
So the ships leave the dock, and I'm not going to make you roll a piloting skill check for, like, basic maneuvering. I mean, if you didn't graduate
Really,
the
because
academy
if someone
from
gets a
that,
one,
like,
I think that'd be hilarious.
that's
Great.
horrible.
That's a good call. Not make me roll for that.
You've spent all those years at the Galactic Academy. You have to at least know the basics. I mean, so you
I
take...
just imagine like a guy, like the new guy on the forklift. He was like,
Yes. Puts the forks right through all the items on top of the forklift. It spins
Oopsie
around.
doodle.
he's like,
So Quinn detaches and kind of leads the Banneker around. However, I will make Beats and Hades roll your piloting skills, as this is kind of the first time you've piloted something.
Ooh,
Do they get
non-natural 20.
advantages?
Say 17 plus 3.
Nice.
And what was yours, Hades?
16.
Nice. So you're kind of getting used to the Avia Ra controls. You know the basics, but you're kind of getting the feel for how the ship kind of moves. And because this is an Avia Ra ship, the wings that start out are kind of like winged out backwards, like a bird that's been flapping. And then you realize after a bit that there's a button on the dash that kind of brings the wings forward, and that's how they're supposed to be when you're going.
I had handbrakes on.
Yes. So you get that figured out, and then you get it around, and everything else kind of clicks into place, and it feels smooth and natural at that point. Bring the cat back. All right, so you get to the front of the maw, and you can see this almost like snake skeleton that's like the skeletal remains of this like snake-like creature skull just kind of begin to open up. And you see these little tiny dots kind of floating around in and out of the eyes and like landing on the snout. And as you kind of get closer and closer, you see that there are these like, they look humanoidish. You didn't see any, definitely didn't see any the first mall. And at that last mall you went through, you didn't see any of these. But this mall, it's populated, right? And you see a lot of these little fluid-like creatures that are kind of working on the mall. And it looks like they're operating the mall, kind of opening the maw up. And as the maw opens up, you see this dark hole in space. And you fire up your drives and you go forward.
And Beats will come over the radios and he will say, "Good luck with the jump, everybody. I know we got this." And I will give Bardic Inspiration to Hades and to Quinn.
I want to watch if there's a way I can connect to all of the robots on the dwarven thingy and just watch and make sure like everything stays copacetic. That would be very comforting
You
for
have
me.
remote access, like a Bluetooth
Yeah.
camera, CCTV.
Or really just sort of like check like there's not any weird like stuff that happens in their minds, or nothing, everything doesn't just suddenly go dark or something, or
No angry
Yeah.
eyebrows.
no angry eyebrows.
Angry face emoji.
Just like everything's.
Yeah.
Kill all
So you're kind of
humans.
keeping an eye on them as the Banneker takes the lead. Go ahead and roll your piloting skill, Quinn.
Are we what's your inspiration die?
D6.
Okay.
I thought the Avia Ross ship was taking lead
Was it?
Yes,
since they're
Okay.
Yeah.
because we're going into Avia.
Then Hades, you roll first.
I slam on the brakes.
I got it. Everybody's like, ugh.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, my bad. I was
Just
not paying
had this
attention.
waxed.
Sorry.
Quinn!
Yep. Sorry, everybody. Sorry.
Alfie looks over at you. Are you okay, Quinn?
Sorry, Alfie.
I got a 19.
Okay. So yeah, you hit that warp, and you it kind of looks like the Avia Ra ship like stretches, and then it's just gone. Like the back end of it disappears into the black hole.
This doesn't feel right. That's the last thing you hear.
And then go ahead. Who's second in line?
That'd be me.
Quinn, roll your skill.
13.
Yeah. So you pilot the
With the
Banneker in.
inspiration die.
And maybe you're a little nervous from the last couple jumps. This just every time you jump, it's not right? So
Something horrible happens.
maybe this is not a good idea, but I guess we're doing it. And you just go, and it's the lack of confidence that kind of stutters the ship just a tad, and then you punch it, and again you feel that stretching, and then the warp hits, and you go through that darkness.
I think
And,
it's the juicy light that, like, I've never really said anything yet, and the proximity of the light to the seat is actually making it really hot. And I'm like, and then I like
butt's
I
just
elbow,
way
yeah, I'm
too
like,
warm.
boom, and
Yeah.
I hit the thing, and it
hot
just
and
kicks
juicy,
it.
huh?
Yeah, exactly.
heated seats.
Hot and
Heated
juicy.
seat, heated seat. All right.
And then Matt, go ahead and roll yours.
All right.
Beats rolls his
That
pilot.
is a 17.
Beats, this almost kind of feels natural for you. You feel like maybe this is your new calling. And
Hard.
you approach, and the dwarven freighter seems like, even though it's a dwarven ship, it feels very natural, these controls to you. It feels like maybe these controls were even kind of designed for Vect piloting. It's a dwarven ship.
Deja vu, huh?
And you hit that maw, and the already long ship is stretched even further apart. And the robots kind of like, you notice, Adriadne, as you're watching the CCTV, they kind of sparkle. Like, you see little sparks kind of... And it's not like a dangerous, like, they don't look like they're shorting out or anything, but they look like they're waking, like, alerting. Like, they're just almost maybe overloading a little bit. Not in a bad way. They just, like, there's, like, power. Like, when Iron Man got hit with Thor's lightning, and it was like, you're at 600% capacity, and he's like, oh, cool. That kind of, like, it's like, it doesn't look like it's a danger or a threat, but they look like they are...
Just kind of like the rest
Like,
of us are just kind of
They're
like
absorbing
hyped.
the,
Yeah.
the
They're
magic
hyped.
or absorbing
Yeah.
the energy of
Yep,
the mall.
like they're absorbing that energy. And instantaneously, the Avia Ra ship comes out of that transport on the other end of the mall, and Hades, you're in the pilot seat and you're in the captain's seat. So the first thing that you see is in this, like, parsecs and parsecs away. You can see because there's plenty of, like, lights and stuff around from the surrounding area, but this is completely different than you expected to see. Instead of a bright central light, there is a dark pulsating quasar. There's just a pinprick of light that shoots out both directions. And then around the darkness, there's this bright light. So, like, the area that you're in is lighted inversely. Like, the light seems to be surrounding you rather than coming from a source. With this dark spot in the middle and a quasar just pulsing out of both directions of this black, inky void that's just there. And you can barely make it out as the ship highlights it. You see this little box highlight on the ship's screen come up, and it kind of beeps, beep, 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 and pulls up, and you see this little thing pop off this box, and it explains that the Citadel is 4 parsecs away.
And all weapons.
And
are
apparently the
operational.
force field is at full strength.
Thanks, Jarvis.
And then an instant later, Apollo comes behind you, and you see the same thing on the bridge. And then, the Dwarven freighter.
Oh, thank God.
Damn, these pants are hot.
Else?
Oh,
Like,
man. Everybody
good?
here? Sorry, was that on live comms?
Do you,
Everybody here?
yes,
You guys
it
hear me?
was. Do you need me to shut off the juicy bit on your butt?
Oh my god, it's so uncomfortable. The mod transition could not go fast enough.
Just come here. Okay, Adriadne will wander over and like fix it. Turn this down to a cooler color.
Blue.
I'm gonna shut off our communications, see their ships for a sec.
You're gonna what? Shut off the
Turn off
communications?
the external communications.
Okay.
Are you gonna kill Hades?
Hey, Hades.
You're in the ship with him, Hades. You can hear
Like
him.
4 feet away from you.
I was like,
It's like-
I'm like, yeah. What's up?
Good job.
You couldn't say that over the. Okay.
Having a special moment.
Yeah.
So,
He's really.
your
Special
elven
boy.
emo
Did a great
friend
job.
kind of looks over at you expectingly.
Who's that?
Your elven emo friend, the dancer.
Oh, he's like, you're gonna tell me I did good now, right?
Hey, Bill. Good job.
Good job, Bill.
Thanks, man. And he gets up from his seat, and he does a pleure. And then he does another one. And then he bows. And then he sits back down.
That's what we did
And I
tonight's
punch it.
episode.
No, I'm kidding.
Like, I'm gonna get communications back on.
They like bag tagged him when he was.
Like,
Sit down.
yeah, I mean, I looked before you plunged. I was like, thank you.
Yeah, you did great.
And just start heading towards the Citadel.
Everyone's just quietly eating cinnamon rolls.
All right,
Hey, Quinn, is your
Elias,
did
you there?
Yeah, did you fix your juicy situation?
Yeah, it was just it was kind of uncomfortable, but I think we got it fixed. But we're having an engineer look at it.
I made it all
Um,
pastel now.
She made it pastel. It's a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, we're here. Is this what you were expecting? This is like a. I feel like the whole like the brightest star in the universe maybe was like supposed to be a metaphor. Now that I'm here, instead of like literal, it just seems like not as bright.
No,
that
I
or
don't know.
we're in the brightness.
the Sepulchre star is next to a black hole.
Hmm.
That's the coolest.
Cool. So we get to pick which one we're gonna land on, or we just have to like go for it, or
There's a base
Yeah, just follow
the
Elias
Citadel,
and
that's-
Hades.
outside of the.
Yeah, there should be the Citadel. There's the whole core. It's like a whole area of planets, like a system.
cool.
All right, well, we should stop
Let's
at the
do that.
nearest place and supply.
And do we know what we're? Someone's got a plan.
Yeah, sure.
Great. I'll follow you in.
Okay.
Ducks fly together.
Confidence.
Quinn out.
Someone's got
Yes,
a plan.
we're flying.
Cricket,
we have the
cricket.
flying V
Yeah,
coming in.
baby!
Going into Ava Ra territory.
And Beats is blaring "Mighty Wings" by Cheap Trick from the Top Gun soundtrack. Take me on your mighty wings tonight.
Let's imagine a dwarven freighter like coming in. That's like such a great.
Yeah. So you guys come in, and it takes you probably a good hour of flying at FTL to get the distance from the mall to where you can start to see this massive, and I cannot understate this enough, or overstate this enough, massive, like this dwarfs, no pun intended, the Dwarven Freighter, the Banneker, like this Citadel dwarfs the moon base. You've been to a couple planets. The Citadel is twice the size of Jupiter. The Citadel itself.
Oh.
It's like the planet,
Yeah.
like at the capital of the entire universe, right?
And it's just almost mind-boggling to Quinn. You've never seen anything this big.
That's big.
Yeah, it's huge.
And
Yeah,
it's
like we're
and it's dwarfed by the
infinitesimally
sun.
small compared.
Sorry, I got distracted by
gonna say-
Cat.
This is big.
It's real big.
This is really big.
At this point, there are 3 Avia Ra ships that look like falcons. They're kind of designed to look like birds, most of them. So as they kind of come up, the wings kind of like they were folded down, they kind of like come up as they're rising upwards, and the beaks kind of open up, and these 2 massive cannons that have like a main cannon, and then there's just like massive cannons all the way around. So it's like a what was that? EDF, EMF, EF.
EMP.
I don't know, the repeating cannon gun in Star Wars. The
Oh, the E-Web.
E-Web, yeah. Thank you. Cannot word today. I don't know why.
Like it would shred the Banneker.
Yeah, it's just massive cannon-style E-Web. Like just 2 of them kind of protrude out from the beak on both vessels, and the center one kind of pops up ahead of the other one. And aboard all 3 vessels, your communications, your holographic like communications pop up, and there is an Avia Ra that comes up and says, "Identify yourselves and state your business."
I'm gonna like count to 3, do like 3 breaths, like okay, turn communications on so he can see me.
And I switched him to main communications.
Yeah. Like, hello, this is Admiral Elias Whisperwind, leading Horus 1, and our accompanying fleet, heading into the Citadel for resupply and good visit home.
Surely.
You see him turn and go like this, and the transmission ends.
I guess we just go then.
Yeah, we just wait.
About 2-3 minutes later, the transmission comes back up. Please follow us to the docking bays. You're expected.
Thank you, sir.
The transmission ends, and the ship's cannons retreat back into the beak, and the beak kind of shuts. The wings shift downwards, and it looks a little less hostile. They're still in the shape of falcons, so they just look hostile. Because, falcons always look hostile, right?
You look angry. Angry.
Birds of prey.
Yeah. But they look less hostile now, and they kind of turn around and begin to lead you towards the Citadel.
Okay.
Are we supposed to be expected, you guys?
No.
I don't know. I kind of gave up. I had this theory. I was telling the guys about this theory. I think everybody here is just a god in this timeline. Like, Beats is over there with, like, his, cult of robots, and then Hades has his cult of, weird stuff, and now Elias is here, and he's got birds, and you're finding gnomes that shouldn't be around. I mean, it's one, but, one's a lot more than we were expecting to find, so.
That's true.
Hey, Quinn.
Yeah. Are you here? Is this on live? Is this on live content?
Yes.
Am I broadcasting this?
I was
There's a-
asking
there's-
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Avia Ra in the galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's a
lot.
cult.
It's a cool.
It's not a cult, Quinn. Don't
Like
be
an
rude.
effective-
Not a cult.
an
It's an
effective
entire
cult.
race of people, and there's
Hey, you
a
guys-
lot of them.
You guys are the ones that are taking this negative connotation.
Cults are
Yeah.
not good.
What?
So it's-
Cults are historically not good.
Cults are
Oh,
historically
yeah.
not good. They usually
they have this cult has a huge flock.
Anyway.
Does Beats just get his own bardic inspiration for that?
Not bardic inspiration,
am-
but he can have inspiration.
Yeah. If I keep arguing here, can everyone hear me? Can are the Adriadne like still hearing us?
No,
As
we're
far as
not
I
they've-
can-
that
they've-
open.
okay.
Cut the
Okay.
transmission.
Stupid.
I was curious. I wasn't expecting everyone to hear that anyways. So I'm just
I feel
I,
like it's like when you're in like an MMO and you're like one
Guild
is like
chat.
everyone, two
Guild
is
chat.
like fleet. Yeah, like
yeah,
guild
I'm in
chat.
local. I'm not
Yeah.
in local. Yeah, I'm just saying, like it's all the same, like right now Adriadne are fighting who?
The elves.
The elves. Great. And then in a couple thousand years, the elves are going to fight the Adriadne, and everybody's just going to keep fighting everybody else. All I'm saying is that sooner or later, there's people who are ruling and there's people who are being ruled, and it's all just kind of the same at the end of the day.
It's really not. It's
No.
really
he's
not.
making-
Let's
he's
not
making-
go there.
There's a
He's
big
literally-
difference
he's
between
literally making a
rulers.
reference. He's
Yeah.
literally making a
God.
reference, and I'm fucking. he's literally repeating word for word.
I know.
It's really good.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm gonna take my helmet off and I'm gonna put it down and I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
I can just retract my helmet, I guess.
Can you? It's Spartan armor.
I can.
Are you a Mandalorian?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not with this armor.
Have to-
Jeez Louise.
Keep it on, huh?
Actually, Jeez Louise might be the name of my armor.
I say, aren't you just? That's awful judgmental
Louise.
of you.
What? That I have
You
pink
don't
lace?
think you don't think a Mandalorian could wear cool pink lace armor? I mean, just saying.
Sabine probably could.
I don't know. I think she might be offended if that happened.
So as you're approaching these ships, kind of the three that were escorting you, kind of pull to the side of this massive port that's just protected by a shield, right? And the shield kind of retracts, and you're able to kind of pull in and dock in and land the ships inside this citadel. Roll your
Hey,
piloting
Joe.
skills, please. Yes.
Okay.
Because I have an interface rig,
Mm-hmm.
like built into my suit, my outfit, clothes, whatever. Can I carry like a fragment of Jarvis with us?
I have a
Jarvis.
fragment as well.
Jarvis has already integrated, yes.
Okay.
This is everywhere.
No, I mean like that he can come with us.
Yeah, he's already integrated into your Omni tools because they're
Oh, okay,
connected to
cool.
the network.
I wasn't sure if the Omni tools were the same kind of thing enough for that, but then it's fine.
I got a 17.
Yeah, a 17 plus 3, another non-natural 20. You
Nice.
guys should have
Same.
had beats flying the damn ships from the get-go. 'cause-
Same here.
Nice. Yeah, so the
20
Banneker
here.
and the Dwarven fleet almost synchronized, land very easily, and then the Adriadne ship comes in, and
Coming in hot.
you're not coming in high. You're coming in nice and clean, and you remember, oh, the wings, and you push the button and the wings come down. But then you're coming down, and you're like, why is this not? And then, your buddy Elias, push that button, and you push the button, and these little like feet come out, landing feet, and they
Oh,
look
chicken
like
feet.
bird feet. Yep.
When
And
you do, it
it's-
goes, "Caw!"
Like a little Baba Yaga.
Oh.
And it lands, and the wings kind of flap down, and it almost looks like a bird is standing there. Big metal blue, red, and gold bird. And then, as the butthole opens up, the ramp comes down,
The cloaca.
Oh my god.
and you have to walk down the ramp out of the back side of the bird.
Hey,
I
hey guys, is that Alfie? Does that ship look kind of? I don't know. Like
I made my son laugh.
it's kind of weird that like a race of avian-like beings built a ship to do that when you walk out. You know what I mean? Seems kind of weird, don't you think?
Anyway,
It's because poop is funny.
The original engineers of the Evia Raw really had a shitty sense of humor.
They figured it'd make an excellent place to put the ramp.
Well, anyways.
I asked
You just gotta drop someone right out. That's what you gotta do.
I asked Elias, should I hide my appearance?
You should act with confidence.
You should act with confidence and stay with me.
Right. I just don't want to get.
These aren't the elves you're
Off the
looking
brig.
for.
I wouldn't go too far from me.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Like, don't be alone.
I will walk out with Elias.
I'm gonna tell Bill that he's not to let anyone on the ship unless he clears it with me first.
Understood, Captain.
Be
His
safe.
salute is very flourished.
I love it.
I love it.
I'm thinking Tiny Dancer in my head right now.
He could definitely dance practice while he's on here, though, for sure.
In 0G.
In zero G, and I'm sure there's a great speaker system.
Yeah, I'm sure. I
And-
mean, he could just blare music and dance the whole time that we're
I bet
gone.
there's like you can set up
real.
like mirrors all around so he can see his form and really get. his
I imagine this
practice
is all on like the local communications, and
Yeah.
you
I'm
see
nodding
this
knowingly
individual.
in my seat. I'm like, yeah, he could. Hey, tell him to record it. I used to record myself in pilot trainings. You should tell him to record it.
in. Yeah, that's a good idea. You could go back and watch it and make sure everything's
Yeah.
good.
You see him. He's got a stone face, and he like glimmers, like just a little bit of a smirk. He said,
Hey, Bill,
"Yes,
do
Captain.
whatever you want. You have a good time while we're gone.
Perform Trumpeter of the Swan or something.
Aye, aye.
But do still
that's
keep an
racist,
eye
yeah.
out.
Well, I mean, you're just gonna lock the ship, make sure nobody can come up unless it's us.
Yeah.
Okay. So you exit your ships.
Egg in hand. Actually, I gotta hang on a second. I gotta get something. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna pull up some of the items that I was able to retrieve from my last purchase.
Okay.
So I'll have well, you have my maul. So I'll take the machine gun, not the machine gun, but the automatic blaster that I got. I'll take that. I'll take, oh man, I don't know. There's a lot of people in this place. I'll take my concussion rifle just in case. I'll take my glaive that reduces down, and I think I will take my longbow. I'll string my longbow across just in case we need something silent. And Hades might not remember his gun, so I'll take my blaster pistol too. And then I'll take a dagger just in case. I'll slide it inside my belt.
Mhm.
And I'll come back and grab my bag with the rest of the stuff. Okay, back.
Okay.
I think I'm ready.
You have like every weapon
You
that
sure?
exists.
Yeah. Oh, my arrows. I'll go back and I gotta get my quiver. All right, I'm back. Sorry. All right, we can go. I'm ready now. Well, you get, or you can get your stuff. I'm just ready.
Jesus.
It's a new meaning to the term weapon specialist.
I
I have proficiency in all of these.
Do you really? Jesus.
It's like proficiency in weapons, all weapons. Yes.
What are you? What are you proficient with? All.
All weapons,
yes.
all
I mean,
armor.
yes.
Yes.
Like literally, we're the only two. Me and Quinn are the only two probably on the ship that's proficient in every weapon.
So yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
As you disembark from the ships, you're in this docking bay. Beats, this area looks very familiar to you because this is a cargo hold, like a docking station for loading and unloading ships. And it's got the same kind of layout as the Banneker. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar enough that you recognize the layout.
Before we go,
Mhm.
I'm going to order some people to get out on the side of the Banneker and fix the name.
Okay. Yep, they are on that.
Yeah.
They take their little sci-fi spray paint cans and rappel down from the top, upside down, and they're tactically changing the name.
Yeah, so tactically.
And you all hear the sound of marching, but it sounds a bit different than like boots on cement. It sounds like the thud and then like it's kind of like like a beat. And as you look down this hallway that's connected to this docking bay, and this is a massive hallway, it's probably like 100 feet wide, and like as long as your eyes can see. There's like no horizon to this place. It's just light, and then off into the distance, and doors on each side, and it just goes for miles as far as you can see. You see this massive 5 by 100 row column of marching Aviara in these like synchronized steps, like they're just marching, and they have these sashes across their chests, and they're carrying these light rods similar to the one that you have, and they take a step and they'll snack their light rod against the floor. So that's that kind of sound. You get that.
Do they all have a different state on their sash? Aviara state? Is this like a pageant we walked into? Or...
And now, from
There
the
she
Goose
is.
Colony, Michelle Honkers.
Oh my god. I wasn't expecting.
Talent contest! Talent contest! Talent contest!
I just imagine a whole bunch of the Aviara, but instead of like eagles and birds, are just like goose.
Every type of bird. There's cardinals.
The untitled goose game, Aviara.
Aviara edition, yeah. They go around and take things from the elves.
Did we see a clear leader of the?
Are they
They're
coming to
all
us?
they're all marching down that hall towards you, and then as they approach the edge of the docking bay, leaving the tunnel, they kind of split and start to spread into a longer formation rather than the 5 by 100. They start to kind of form, and it's a very methodical and symmetrical formation that they're doing this in. And they begin to kind of surround in a semicircle, surround you and the ships. And then behind them, after they've kind of formed this semicircle of 100 Aviara, this person steps forward, and instead of having the sash, this person is actually wearing a full chest plate and this long cloak made of feathers.
There she is.
Cool. Cannibal.
And they separate through, and he comes through and marches forward.
Would I know what rank this person is?
You would be able to identify the rank of general.
Oh, okay.
And we're not talking 1-star general. We're talking 3-star general.
Big
And
general.
feather general.
Like leads the war against the elves general.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
Like
Cool.
probably 3rd or 4th in command of the entire Aviara people. Gotcha.
Okay, cool.
Pretty high up there, yes. And he does look a bit threatening because this particular Aviara has a large yellow beak, and it has this white plumage, kind of like a bald eagle.
I should have brought my loader.
Looks bulky. Like this bird looks like there's some muscle
Team
to
Chonker?
it. Yeah, he's a chonker. He's a big bird.
I'm gonna tell Elias. Jesus. I'm gonna tell Elias. I'm gonna lean in. I feel like, are you and Hades staying next to each other? You're on the ship.
Yeah, I'm clearly in a position kind of a bodyguard position where I'm not ahead of him, but I'm close behind him.
I'm
yeah,
gonna
like
come
a
in.
step and then to the right.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in step to the left. I'm gonna lean in, and I'm gonna go, Hades, I got a blaster pistol for you if you need one.
I'm always strapped.
All right, hey Elias, if you want me to kill this guy, you just blink twice, and I'll step back. I can't see your face, so I don't know why I said that, but
Just don't.
I'm just saying.
that.
I'm just saying.
What's the matter, Colonel
Just
Sanders?
turn his head. Just don't.
Colonel Sanders chicken, so good. Yes. All right.
Can we meet a foghorn leghorn lesser general later?
I said,
Because that would
what
be
do you
amazing.
do, boy?
Right,
What are you
I,
doing on this Citadel, boy?
So he kind of looks around, and
He's got a little chicken hawk assistant.
Oh
Admiral Elias. Admiral Elias, tell your crew to drop their weapons and disarm themselves immediately.
Oh
Turn his
shit!
head back and all weapons down.
Beats says
Look
he
at
said
Hades.
disarmed. Beats takes his arms off. No.
no! Say, ooh, I don't know if I can just like get rid of
Wait,
my
I don't-
magic.
I think that Beats just has like an ejecting, or just like bonk.
It's like an Incredible Crash dummy. He hits the button
Yeah,
and
he
then
press
pop.
it, pop out.
Yeah.
All right,
I take,
all right. I'll
I put my
watch
staff
Hades.
down.
look at Elias and I look at the others, and I take my Magnus and I place it on the ground, and then I take the axe handle and I place it on the ground next to it.
Yeah, I lead with my staff on the ground first, just to kind of show like solidarity.
Okay.
I just kind of like hold my hands out away from myself.
All right.
He says, thank you. Follow us. Goth Midian awaits you.
Cough me.
Golf Midian. Oh my god.
Imsuri?
Okay.
Follow.
Oh wow. Oh that god dang it, now I have Moff Gideon's freaking theme stuck in my head now.
Hear that music, right? I can't play it because, Disney.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, it's so good.
Careful.
I'm
Any more than 3 notes and it's a copyright claim from Disney.
I don't know. We've been watching whatever's on the TV in the background now for like
Oh.
of
That's
Dave's.
the office. It's fine. Netflix. Everybody shares a password. It's fine.
dude. Don't tell him.
I think there's only like 5 Netflix subscriptions out there. So
Yeah,
In the world.
something like that.
Yeah. All right, I follow behind Elias.
Okay. He turns around and the general begins to kind of walk down. They part, and as you're walking down, 5 of the soldiers, 5 of the 100, kind of walk with you. So there's the general, and then 5 of them, and the rest of them kind of start to disperse around in the docking bay, collecting your weapons. If you look back, you would see
Would
them
they
doing
have
that.
noticed if I kept that cool glove on that I got?
They really didn't, like, they said disarm yourselves, but they didn't
Like
check
I'm just
you.
a little gnome with a fanny pack.
Yeah, they
and a
haven't.
quick glove.
They're not really. They're not patting you down. They're not making you go through a metal detector or anything like that. So if you're wearing that power
Sweet,
glove,
I
they're not
still
going to
got
say
my
anything.
glove.
Quinn, if you had something on you that you didn't like a knife or a dagger or whatever that you didn't put down, you're not getting patted down, so you can have that. Same with you, Hades. If you have a weapon like hidden, they're not.
My cloak.
Yeah, they're not.
Not checking.
I'd
us.
say.
Yeah.
They're just making sure that we're
Yeah.
not visibly armed.
So I probably like my longbow that I had over my whole person. Probably had to take it off.
Yeah, probably.
My concussion rifle. It's technically big enough. Probably took that. My machine gun. Probably took that. I like to think that my glaive like retracts itself, so I like to think that one probably made it. And then my blaster pistol that I like hid for Hades, and then the knife.
I like
those
have
three.
the head of that rocket hammer. I'm like, is it okay if I take this? I'm kind of working on something.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't
great.
work.
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna take my vent tape out, and I'm going to
The
while I
most
have my vent
dangerous
tape out
weapon
in this
the
hand, I'm gonna keep my arm back, and I'm gonna be like have my other hand on one of the concussion grenades, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, do you mind if I keep this, or do I need to leave this with you?" And I'm gonna hold my vent tape out.
You hear one of the Aviara come up and kind of like, looks fine.
All right, great. He just said yes to my concussion grenades. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm following.
So they march you through hallway after hallway. They take a left turn, they take a right turn. You're walking for probably an hour before you get to this massive courtyard, and it looks very tropical in here. And there's a glass elevator that goes up. And the general and the 5 escorts walk you over to this elevator, and the general places his talons into this little, like, it looks kind of like a silly putty, like egg-shaped thing, and he kind of places his talons and like squishes in and squeezes the silly putty, and the elevator kind of like, and you hear this as this egg-shaped glass thing comes down.
Does that only respond to you?
Indeed.
Ah, I wanted to touch it.
You can touch it. It just won't respond to you.
Oh my god! I stick my fingers in it immediately.
Yeah, and it's just like silly putty. It's like you could like.
Guys, this is so gross.
How about we?
It is a
Yeah.
biomass.
It's like, we don't disrespect their culture over
I'm
here.
not disrespect.
Not
I think it's
disrespecting.
really cool.
She sounds really curious, so he kind of it's a biomass. It comes from inside the eggs when the Aviara are birthed.
Whoa!
We scrape out the insides and we use them for
God.
a lot of our technologies.
That's the coolest.
I gotta figure out if I can hide my disgust.
I'd like to take a look at that sometime.
I rolled a 10.
No waste.
You have your,
Rolled a
you
10.
have a Spartan helmet on, so I don't think they
Yeah.
care.
Because I've got
dim
some
the
weird like
shader.
biotechnology going on in my own head right now, but it's not like purposeful. So like, it would be super cool to look at your stuff sometime, maybe. if I
Perhaps if there's time,
can. Thanks.
please step aboard the elevator.
Hey,
Yeah.
so
And you get in the
how are
elevator.
things? How are things going?
You talking to him?
Yeah.
Oh. The war is progressing.
How's
Obviously.
your day been?
Do we really have time for the niceties? Please.
I mean, we're on the elevator.
He's not in with you. He's
Oh, okay.
Oh.
pointed. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He's kind of like
wait, my
entered
bag.
it in and then wanted you to go on.
Oh,
So
okay.
the five of you get on the elevator and he squeezes the silly putty and it begins to shut down and takes off up the tube. And you get to the point where the metal ceiling of the courtyard, you kind of like pass into it, and you can see all the electronics and everything. It looks very similar to the side of your head with all the, like the circuitry and everything kind of popping out and glowing. And you pass through about a foot and a half of that before you get into this area where you can see lots of like bird nests. Just like, it's like in the Matrix with the pods, only they're nests, and it's not so dark and grim. There's just nest after nest after nest,
Not
and
being
there's like
harvested for energy.
thousands upon thousands, like hundreds of thousands of these nests just piled along. And then
Elias, I have a question.
What's up?
Do you guys eat smaller birds?
I
Or
mean,
is that like weird for you guys?
meat is meat.
I know, but it's just like they also have eggs. Like, is that like upsetting?
No,
Okay, just checking.
we don't waste anything.
Good.
It's always been our home planet was kind of a desert before we did lots of work on it.
Ooh.
So we had to really make sure we didn't waste any materials, whether that be from the eggs, from life itself, plants. Everything is used in some way.
So cool.
We
You guys
don't
remember
have a
last
whole
time we
lot.
were at? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Last time we were in an elevator like this, we saw Hades' aunt, and then we got sent into some like interdimensional dream.
And a
Remember
weird
that?
bug fell on Elias. You
Mm.
remember that?
I'm just gonna look around for the bugs.
There's no bugs. Fine.
They say that. and he's
Wobbles
like,
is
"Oh
not
my
here.
God."
No wobbles today.
These long, upward moving elevators. It's like we're like 0 for 1 right now. Or
This-
maybe who knows? Maybe you're gonna be a deity.
I doubt that.
Ooh,
I don't know.
you are expected.
I mean, we just
Um,
got
we
the
got-
full. We just got rolled out. I mean, we just got rolled
We got
out on.
an escort.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's gonna be coalition related.
Pretty sure you're like a god for sure.
No,
at this
my
point,
family is not
All right.
godlike.
As we get close, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna look at
God
Adriadne and I'm gonna
roll,
say
Elias.
50 credits, and I'm gonna say 50 credits.
Oh, you got it.
Like,
Okay.
I've met my father and my mother. They're both
So did
religious
Hercules.
and political people.
So
I
did
don't
Hercules.
come
Did you
from the
just
land
call
of
him
gods.
Hercules?
Hercules knew his mom and dad too. Next day, boom, Zeus calls. Sup, son? What? Right?
way to,
Herc and Hades.
way
Oh
to
my
harken
gosh.
back to the
It's
Greek
destined.
mythology there.
It's destined. Herc and Hades, you guys are gonna be going at it at like 7th level.
So you get up to the top of this like massive complex with nests, and it goes through another layer of that circuitry board, right? And you see you're going through another layer of just offices. Like you see just doors upon doors and levels with it's like a hotel where they've got the levels, and if you're in the elevator, you're going up the elevator, you can see like the rooms and everything, but these are all offices. And it travels up through there, and then you get through like these flashing lights, and then the elevator starts to slow down, and then the whole entirety of the glass kind of like unwraps itself as the platform comes to a rest in this room that's probably like 100 feet long and maybe 50 feet from the elevator to this glass looking platform. And you can see past this glass looking platform the quasar that you had seen coming in. So it's kind of overlooking this quasar, and there is what looks to be, from where you're standing, a human who is standing looking out at the quasar with their hands behind their back, and they seem to be wearing a suit, like a pinstripe suit. It's gray, it's got the little light gray pinstripes in it, and you can see the back of the head. It looks like a military buzz cut as this person's just kind of like sitting there. And you hear, "Welcome."
Gideon?
It's, yes, Midian. Goff
Oh,
Midian.
Sorry, Midian. Golf.
Good evening, sir.
Turns around, and when you expect to see a human, there is a humanoid face, but it has these tentacles kind of hanging down, almost like in a lithid in D&D. Kind of takes a couple steps towards you.
What is that? What race is this?
This is not something that has been associated with the Galactic Academy, so you've never seen anything in your travels. If you are trying to recall knowing of this particular race, roll a history check. The DC is pretty high.
Oh. Nope.
Oh, 19.
Nat 20, 24.
Yes!
12.
Hades, what'd you get?
Oh, I got a 19.
Okay. And Quinn?
19.
Okay. Because you got a nat 20, the best possible outcome of this is that you do recall hearing about something like this. You don't remember where from. What was your total roll? Sorry.
24.
20. Okay, yeah. You don't remember where from, and you don't know, is this something that was current in your time, or is it like something that... But you remember hearing about a race that fits this description.
It's familiar in some
and it
way.
was
I have no idea
not
where.
good.
Okay.
Called it.
So, steps a couple more into the light, and beyond the tentacles, you now see that there's no mouth, and there's this, like, if a human has no nose, you know that, like, receptacle, the hole where the cartilage, like, isn't in a skull, but it's parted in the middle, so it's kind of like a half nose. It's got one of those, and these big, giant, black eyes, like what is it called? The scalia of the eye is all black. There's no pupil. It's just black. And he steps forward and says, "I've been waiting a very long time for you."
Like how long?
Couple centuries now. Must have done some miscalculations in that maw travel.
Yeah, well, could have just been pad piloting. So what's up? We're here. Sorry for being 100 years too late.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be at the academy, but what's going on?
You don't recognize me?
I have no idea who
Never
you are,
met him in
bud.
my entire life. No.
Nope.
Do I recognize him?
Do you recognize his voice?
Do I recognize what he's wearing? Do I see any like insignias or anything that I would know?
Yes, Quinn. As you bring that up,
Uh-oh.
There is
I
an
already know the
insignia, but it's not quite accurate, which is why it took you a second to recognize it. It is an early adaptation of the pan-continental. So pan-world.
Yeah. Pre-world.
Yes.
All right. I'll just narrow my eyes.
Samesies.
So we can't tell because you have your helmet on.
Well,
You can
yeah.
see mine though.
I'm going to I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna have Jarvis. I'm gonna ask Jarvis if I can do that without being too loud to run and see if I can pull up our galactic Wikipedia on Squidface here, and then I'll look around, look at Hades, look at Elias. It's kind of like this whole like sepulchre star thing's your guys' thing. Do you want me to keep going with the interrogation here, or do you guys want to step in?
Okay, well, any reason why you sent us back in time to meet you in this moment?
Also, who are you? Have we met you before? What is happening?
As Quinn, as you try to reach Jarvis, you get a bunch of static. I'm sorry. I won't be able to help you with that. The figure says as you're getting that static.
He's Jarvis. Junior. That's JR.
Jarvis!
Yes, my experiment was a success, and it seems I was able to fine-tune the calculations.
How many other people have you pulled back here?
How many aboard the Banneker?
That's just wondering.
Okay.
Are you leading the Adriadne here?
Well, how else am I supposed to start the war again?
Jarvis, that's not cool, man. You don't need to do that.
Start what war specifically? I have
Well-
a good knowledge of the history around this time.
Now that a dwarven vessel is aboard the Sepulchre Citadel, I'm sure it's just a matter of time before the Adriadne are irritated enough to pursue this matter. And you've done me a huge favor. You've brought an elf to the Sepulchre Star Citadel. I couldn't have planned this any better. Oh, wait. I did.
Yeah, he beat me to it.
I'm gonna do sleight of hand to motion to Quinn, because I'm assuming he's paying attention to like me and Elias. So like, what do I do? And I'm gonna motion for him to like I'm assuming he kept one of the blasters. I got a 9. Oh wait, I haven't used beats
That
the
bardic inspiration.
Yes. Oh thank God, I got a 21.
Ooh, so smooth.
Okay, so you're taking a shot at him?
No.
Oh no, he's
Stealthily
not.
talking
I
to
am.
Quinn.
I'm stealthily talking to Quinn to hand me the blaster.
Sleight of
Set
hand.
aside
Gotcha. You
for
did say sleight of hand. Okay. Yeah, no, go ahead. You can take that action.
Yeah. We'll kind of like walk towards him and like ask him like, so you just summoned us here to get us killed and start a war?
If you die, it will be like cleaning up my mess, but that was not the goal. I just needed to make sure that it worked.
This is rude, bud. Why are you doing this?
Oh, by the way, what blaster is it?
You have it's not fancy. It's the
The repeater.
repeater. I was gonna say the cycle.
Adriadne,
It's the
you
repeater.
want to catch me monologuing, don't you?
No, I'm just really curious. Like, you can sum it up real quick if you want to. I'm just like upset and betrayed, bud.
So what about the Rothians?
What about the Rothians?
Aren't they a little bit more important to deal with than some interracial war?
Again, I don't care what you do after this. I just needed to know that it worked. Now that I do, my plan can begin. And he turns around. Go
As
ahead.
soon as he turns around.
Yeah?
Channel divinity.
Okay. Adriadne, you were going to say something while he's casting that. Go ahead and ask your question.
What worked? Exactly?
Sending us back.
He turns around, but just his head, like his shoulders stay facing this glass.
Oh, like an
and
owl?
his head, yeah, turns around. Time travel.
Oh! I would also like to finger guns him right in the mouth.
Okay. So you cast finger guns, and you're also casting a blaster, like you're firing a blaster, right?
Yeah, I'm firing a blaster and I'm using channel divinity so I can expend a spell slot to divine smite him with.
How far away is he from us?
At this point, he's only about 40 feet away.
Oh yeah. Oh.
If we're busting, are we busting? Are we busting
I
skulls?
think we're
He just
busted.
told us he's about
I
to
want to
start
see
a
what he
war.
does,
All right.
'cause
Well-
we don't know what this thing is.
All right, yeah, that sounds like something that you should worry about. I'm boosting 30 feet because that's my full movement,
Okay.
and then my glaive has a reach of 10 feet.
Okay. So here's how this plays out. You finger gun and you blaster, and then you go to boost. And they kind of all, because you're all standing like in a line, you are all three like happen to kind of come because you're aiming at one singular point, and they hit this like shield thing and vibrate as his head continues to turn the rest of the way around, so it's made a full 360 degrees. And he walks over to the edge of this like platform, and he turns around and says, "To think that I didn't anticipate these actions? Time travel.
Man, it's like he's in my head.
Gideon Moff. No.
You had
Oops.
it
Yeah, you said it right. Gideon Moll. Or
right. No, it was
Goff
it was
Midian.
Goff
I am
Midian.
Goff Midian, he says as he crosses his arms.
I don't know what that means.
He crosses his arms in like the Wakanda salute, and this little bubble kind of like bloop, kind of like takes him over, and you see it kind of like float upwards and shoot off past the glass, like the glass is a shield, and then you see it head directly into the Sepulchre Star, like that center.
Oh, I don't like that.
We need to go.
We need to
leave
go.
right now. Back in the elevator. We're leaving. This is bad. I don't know what's going on, but this is bad.
Can
We
we
don't have-
even use the elevator?
We don't have time to stop
Oh,
by
I
the gift
can.
shop either, do we?
Wait a second. Holy crap. No, we're totally screwed because Jarvis is all up in our computers and shit.
Can
Yeah,
I try
who's
to
been
get Jarvis
saying that?
out of
Who's
our
been getting ripped on
computers?
for the whole season?
Damn
to
it,
not-
Quinn, you're right.
I fucking told all of you people. I told all of you. This
I'm
is both
not
in
leaving
character.
this in here
He
and
may
watch.
be
I
out,
need
but
to
he
boot
may be
him out of
now.
the system, and I need to boot him out of the
And he's in my
robots.
clothes, and I can't get him out. And I let him in my clothes.
You
and I was right.
You ha 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 ha. And then we.
Get hacked. All right.
I'm just gonna stand there and watch then because we're screwed.
So we're
I'm-
up in this so there's this like long cylinder that goes up really, really far.
Mhm.
And then there's this Aviara life like place, this massive Jupiter sized station here.
Mhm.
And we're like, a bazillion floors up from where we were. Is that a pretty fair like generic concept? So
Yep.
to get down, it's not like we could be like, hey, let's just jump. It's like, no, you're gonna have to like get down.
Yeah,
like,
you're
fall.
either gonna
We're
have
gonna
to
have
take the elevator or fly or figure something. Yeah, like
Yeah, well, I can
You
just
take
fall
the elevator
forever and
down
boost.
like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then go an
An
hour
hour
of
walk.
walking past like
Oh yeah. I forgot about the hour
500
part.
AV raw
Hey,
back to our
guys,
ships.
please
So
don't-
There
have
is
Featherfall.
one way we might be able to get Jarvis out of the ship, but it's really bad.
Ooh, tell me.
Blow it up.
Let's do it.
Are you sure?
He's
We'd
in
have
all
to
three.
blow
Nope.
up all 3 ships.
Joe, I'm watching the star. Is anything happening?
Nope,
Okay.
not yet.
I communicate to the other ships. Is communications going through?
You're getting complete static.
Fuck. Please, Adrian, do you not have Featherfall?
What?
Featherfall.
Just take the
I'm a
elevator.
sorcerer, not a wizard. All right, I'm gonna
You
go
have
punch.
an
I'm gonna go.
elevator. If
I'm
we're
gonna go
gonna
punch
go,
the.
let's just go.
Is the elevator responding?
So you walk over to the elevator and it's got that silly putty thing.
I boost over
You
with great style.
Yep. Doing all kinds of spins and tricks.
Yeah, I juicy
No,
it. I have
Good
I have
kickflip.
rollers in my shoes.
You have wheelies?
I have heelys.
Yeah, you have heelies. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I can probably make the elevator do a thing. We can go in the elevator.
Make this elevator.
I have repulsor lift heelys in my suit.
But I am, however, going to climb up onto Beats so that I can remain still and work on getting Jarvis out of our computers if possible without blowing up the ships.
Okay. How are you getting down?
I'm trying to activate the elevator.
It doesn't respond to you.
Can I make
Yeah,
it?
well,
There's
Can
not
I cast like
there's not really a
technomancy and make
there's
it?
not really a technological interface. It's that biological interface. You do have it.
If I put my hand into it, does it work?
So when you put your claws in there, it responds and you hear that.
Yay!
In and down, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. You get in
get
the elevator
Wait.
and it travels and it takes a couple minutes to get down.
I'm like, like
Yeah. Go, 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 go.
Skipping all the other stops. Hey, I needed to.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Things and stuff. Fix. Get Jarvis out. Can do. Yes. No. Maybe. God.
As you're coming down, you're not able to communicate with the ships.
We're gonna have to fight our way through this whole race in order to get through here. Did we just get handed off by the general of the Aviar Ra to Junior? To JR? Jarvis? Didn't we just get like single-handedly given to Jarvis by the general?
he doesn't. I don't. We'll see. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Maybe the general might not like.
Does the
be in
general
on
want
this.
the war?
All right, Quinn. We're gonna have to wing this.
Wing
Wing
it.
it.
So the
Are we
elevator
gonna get
gets
our weapons
down.
back? God
We are
bless
gonna
it! I
have to see,
just
'cause
got
I don't
those
know.
weapons. I didn't even
Hey,
have
I
to shoot the
still-
machine gun yet.
It's okay. I still have the head of the hammer.
Ah, thank Hades.
I
We
can-
still have the head of hammer.
I know. Thank Hades. Right. I can still build. I can build the staffy
The rocket
part. No
boosters.
problem.
All right, my glaive's out. Let's roll.
As
Yeah.
you
I'll
get
take all these
down
birds.
into the hallways that you had wandered through, you see these sparking of electricity, and you see Aviar Ra bodies lying everywhere.
Oh, somebody got here before we did. Damn.
Does it look like the walls and the building is doing this, or does it look like blaster shots?
This looks like a battle ensued. It does not look like the building itself. It looks like there was a battle that went on here. As you wander through the hallways and find your way, because you paid attention, you find your way. Also, it's 11:08, so we got to wrap up.
I'm gonna grab guns. Like
You-
any of the
there's-
energy staffs, I'm just tossing them to people as we go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
There's
able to
always
grab.
somebody. Everybody has something.
Able to grab all that stuff, because the bodies are just laying everywhere,
Yeah.
and there was a battle, and there's dead and equipment's laying everywhere. You get back to the hangar bay, and both the Banneker and the Aviar Ra ship are not. Yeah, both the Banneker and the Aviar Ra ship are completely gone from the hangar. The Dwarven freighter is still sitting there, and some of the automatons are like standing over the general and have kind of like nullified him.
Oh, is he dead?
He's not dead. He's like caught and like captured. He's in manacles and he's
Okay.
and the automatons kind of look up and welcome back
Hey, could you like not
Could we not what?
do that to that guy?
If we free him, he will attack.
Hey, General, could
he
you like
attack you?
not attack him? Attack them?
The general kind of like looks dejected and looks up at you. It doesn't matter now. We've won.
History
We've
would
won?
indicate otherwise, but we're in history.
Where's the where? I put the gun. I put the repeater to his head. Where's the Banneker?
Jarvis has taken it. It's no longer yours. Top technology, 10,000 years in the past. And he bites down on like this little fang, and you see this electric and you see his bird skull light up, and he's just like and thumps over limp.
Can I
Heal him.
spare the dying on him?
Heal!
Do it.
Yeah, I want to spread the dying on him.
You ain't dead.
And
You ain't
prevent
dying
him
around
from
me. I'm a
dying.
cleric.
Okay. He's still
Okay.
unconscious, but he is no longer dead.
I stab
Give
him.
1 HP.
Just kidding.
I give him 1 HP. Like I grab him by the beak and I put his face on mine.
You're not dying on me.
And I give him 1 HP. And I'm like, no.
No,
Stay
my
alive.
friend. It's not gonna be that easy.
So he's
Hi!
bites down on another one, and on this
No!
side, and it
I
goes.
Yeah, spare the
God, I
dying.
won't-
on him.
No,
Oh,
for
you're
real,
right,
can we
kill
clear his
myself.
mouth before? I feel like we would look.
Normally, I would say yes to this, but it is 11:11, and we have to kind of wrap up. This is kind of like where I planned on ending
All
all
right.
this, so we kind of have to like. Season 3 or Season 2, we will pursue some more and answer questions, but this is kind of like
Okay.
the end.
So
We're
so
trying to
Jarvis
prevent
has
him
our
from
ships. We're on Jupiter. We're on Bird Jupiter. Jarvis took our stuff.
Or double
And-
Jupiter.
And we have a general that keeps doing the bird thing where they spit it back up for their kids, and they just do it to their cyanide pills.
Electric cyanide.
And the automatons,
Gonna keep regurgitating his electric shock therapy.
the automatons kind of walk up, bzz, 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 and we have neutralized the threat. Jarvis is no
Thank
longer,
you.
and we have, what was it? Not neutralized. We have erased Jarvis from the interface.
Good job, you guys! Oh my goodness! I hug them.
They don't really respond to it.
No,
but-
I know they don't. I don't care.
I go to give him a high five. I'm just hanging.
And it's at this point that another ship comes in and kind of lands, and the side ship, this ship looks like an Aviara ship, but not the one you bought, right? Okay.
Oh, Elias, you have spitting money for some reason.
Nice.
Oh, dope.
And the thing comes down, and there's like this fog and like steam and everything, and you hear the sound of like metallic wheels on the ramp, and Alfie comes rolling down.
Baller.
Baby!
Alfie.
They-
What the hell is
They
going
took
on?
the Banneker, the captain's aboard. I was able to procure a vessel. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go!
And he turns,
Pile on.
whips it around, and he up the ramp.
Are we taking the bots with us? I
We
think
should take the bots with us, for sure, for
take
sure,
the
for sure, for
kids.
sure, for sure, for
Well, they
sure.
have their
Well-
own ship.
Well, guys,
No, the ship should follow us, is what I'm saying.
I had something on my mind, and the asshole in the tower kind of made up my mind. We've already changed history, and I know that because of what's in my mind. I think there's a chance for me to help history, and if he's going to continue trying to mess with history and killing more people, then I think I have the chance to save a lot more in the future. I'm going to take the Dwarven vessel and the Vect, and I'm going to try and save the Vect and restart the Vect with the knowledge that I know now, and get the Vect away from him so that he cannot affect anything else in the future. My future is in that ship, and so is the future of possible deaths of many, many other people and uprisings. And I think I can stop that. if I go with them.
Okay.
I have one request, Beats, before you leave us.
Yes.
Can we keep one of them with us? That way, in case we need you,
Yeah, can we keep
at
a
least
boy?
hopefully there's a connection there. At least you'll know where to find us. At least if we don't know where to find you.
One mechanical lad, just in case
possible.
everything goes super wrong for you.
I think we could probably do that, but I mean, who's to say I can't run into you guys in the future? I'm not human.
Oh no, I mean you totally could. I just want one. I just want one.
Mine came
Wants
more
an
so was like
The automaton that you used to like have you follow around with the crate kind of like takes a step forward with the crate still in its hand.
Yeah. Okay. I'll send my number one with you to be your number one, and he can haul all your guys' findings, just like the old days.
Okay. Thank you for Cretaceous.
right.
I do the hero like thing. The Beats is like.
All right, I'm gonna go.
I'm just
Awesome.
shining up his
Sorry.
armor just a little bit. I'm gonna miss you so much.
You guys, I feel like you guys will take this guy out and save the future, and I think I can too, in a way, if we split this. So yeah, we need to do this.
Two are better than one. If we fail, hey, you might succeed.
Yeah.
It beats. So we're walking away. One more thing. You have to fix the future. You might need this, and I'll toss him my only roll of vent tape.
Beats will catch it, and thanks, Quinn.
Anytime, my man. And as we walk back to the new ship with Alfie, I look at Hades and say, "Good God, I hope I don't need that vent tape."
And I'm pretty sure we can find more vent tape.
Yeah, probably easier than him. All right.
Yeah, we sprint onto the ship.
Okay.
Fuck out of here.
You
Beats kind of salutes everybody as they enter the ship and watches them take off.
Okay. You take off in the Avia Ra ship, and Alfie is piloting the Avia Ra ship, and says, I saw them. They took the ships into the Quasar. I don't know if it's wise to pursue them, but if we want our ship back, that's where it went.
Well, that's where we're going.
Yeah, we'll just at least head that way.
All right, and he punches it
To the Quasar?
into the
Then-
Quasar.
He
Look,
says
I don't know
as we
what's
shoot
going on.
forward.
Also, I say to Elias, we might have to come back. The Banneker might be designed the top of the line, but this Aviar Ra ship is not going to survive going into the Quasar.
It might. They took the
Who
other ship.
says the quasar is actually something?
And he says, "Too late!" as he hits that warp drive into the Quasar, and that's where we're going to end season 1 of Sunrunners.
Man,
Oh, betrayal.
we did not get enough cinnamon rolls.
We didn't. Nope.
We have coffee though, and we have
Yeah.
cinnamon rolls.
We do have some cinnamon
Oh, no,
rolls,
we
and that's
don't.
the important thing.
No. you
And
Oh
don't.
no, you didn't give them. I knew you should have given cinnamon rolls to the robots.
All right. Well, shit.
Yeah.
Jarvis.
Yeah,
God,
Jarvis.
conspiracy
I don't-
theories.
I don't like it. We got played. And I don't like it.
I'm
Dude,
gonna.
what do you call someone who's a
him.
conspiracy theorist? That's right.
Truth speaker? I don't
Peter.
know.
Cleric.
Peter.
So yeah, make sure you tune in. We're going to take a break in between season 1 and season 2 for, we're going to call it winter break, I suppose. But then I think we'll be back for season 2. We're going to kind of discuss that as a group, and we'll make an announcement. If you'd like to know when we're returning, join the Discord. Keep an eye on the Twitter and the Facebook, and we make all our
All the
announcements
Twitters.
and everything. Yeah. So keep
We're in
an eye
Aviar
on
Ra
that.
territory, so definitely keep an eye on the Twitter.
Definitely the Twitter is where. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We might send out a fleet on the Twitter.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to industry.
And we're done.
We're done.
So be sure to tune in for season 2 and check out all the awesome stuff happening at the Nerd Asylum at thenerdasylum.com. And if you want to play in your own game, it doesn't matter if it's Dark Matter D&D or D&D 5e or Call of Cthulhu or any tabletop game that you can think of, check out demiplaneapp.com. Is it Demiplane app or just Demi?
It's Demiplane.
Demiplane.
That's right.
Demiplane.com.
You switched it up
Yeah.
a while ago. Demiplane.com. Where you can find all kinds of games, awesome games happening now. It'll match you up with your preference of game type and style. So definitely check out demiplane.com. Other than that, I think that's going to wrap us up for the year 2020.
Thank you, everyone that did join us for season 1 and donated.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's been an awesome
Thanks, everybody.
year. We'll see you next time. Bye.